Margot and I work at Monroe Street Art Center. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very simple craft at home, and that is some coffee filter flowers. These will add a bit of color and some brightness to any room. They're really fun to make and they only require a few simple materials that you might have laying around your house. So to get started, the materials you're going to need to gather are, of course, some coffee filters, the large circular ones that kind of flatten out work really well. I had brown ones. The white ones would also work great. Then you're going to need some different colored markers. These are to color your flowers, so any colors your heart desires work wonderful. Then just a pair of scissors, some twist ties, and then if you wish to display your flowers in some type of vase or container, go ahead and grab that. I'm just going to use a little glass jar I had around the house. Okay, now that you have all your materials, let's jump right in and I'll show you the first step. Alright, to get started, I just laid out a paper towel on my workspace to make for easy cleanup. So first I'm going to take about 2 to 3 coffee filters stacked on top of each other, and I'm going to find the center point, kind of push around there to bring it into this kind of cone shape. The point at the end. Now that I've got this, I'm going to bunch it up. I'm going to take my pair of scissors and I'm just going to cut kind of little triangles all over. If you've ever made a snowflake, this is kind of similar, but this is a very free form step. This whole project is very free form. No one right way to do it, but yeah, kind of just random little triangles. I'm just bringing some texture to the end of the flower to kind of resemble petals. So once I feel like I got a good amount, yeah, I see this kind of jaggedy, flowery petal surface. We're gonna move on to the next step. Alright, now that I've got kind of the shape or texture of the flower that I want, in the next step we're gonna bring in the markers. So I'd recommend about 2 markers, 2 marker colors for each flower. So I'm using pink and blue. I'll start with some blue. So what I'm gonna do, kind of gonna bunch up the edge of the flower, and then I'm gonna use my, oh, this is pink. I must have mixed up the caps. So I'm gonna take my marker and I'm just gonna color the very top of the flower all around. So like this top surface, maybe around the edges. Kind of just want to get this all filled up with color because we're gonna do something with that in the next step. You can rearrange the configuration of your flower to get some new angles to color on. I want this to be very covered up, soaked in color. I feel like that's a pretty good amount of pink for now. So I'm gonna switch markers, and I've got my blue, and these will kind of blend together, pink and blue, so that'll be very pretty. So same story, we're just gonna cover the very tops of the flower, moving around the edges, getting all of this colored up. All right, can already see it blending a little bit. Awesome. All right, for the next step, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but you're gonna want a container or a jar of water. This is just a big old strawberry jam jar, repurposed as my painting water. So I've got this. I've got my flower that is all soaked in color at the top. So what you're gonna do, and you're gonna want to do this kind of slow because you don't want to go in too far. We're gonna dip the very tip of the flower into the water, probably just about to like right here. The water will spread up more on the flower, so we don't need too much. So here we go. All right. So that water is kind of blending all these marker colors up into the flower, giving it a really cool effect. So now we're just gonna let it dry. I'd recommend putting it on some type of like elevated surface, kind of like this, instead of just on the ground or on the surface, because I don't want it to blend like it just did into there. I want all the color to stay on the flower. So letting it dry, just maybe 15 minutes, half an hour, is a good time to let each flower. But in that meantime, I can work on some more. Alright, now that my flowers are relatively dry, I'm gonna take a twist tie, and for each flower, I'm gonna bunch it up at the point at the end. I'm gonna take the twist tie and just wrap it around a few times. So then I've got sort of a little stem for the flower, and this will help arrange them in the vase or container that we want to use at the end. Alright, so I tied up all of my flowers. Now I can arrange them in the glass jar that I have. So just pop them all in there. Fluff them out more a little bit if you want. That about wraps it up. Alright, we are all done with our coffee filter flowers. Thank you so much for following along with me today. I hope you had some fun being artsy and creative from the comfort of your home. So if you're interested in coming into Monroe Street Art Center and taking a class to explore a new medium, connect with and make new friends, and just keep expanding your creative self, we would love to have you. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.